Welcome to another edition of Texas Third Coast Fishing. I'm your host, Jeffrey McGallen. This time in this episode, we're going to be doing a LED light, green LED light for fishing. It's going to basically be like that with this tube in the center and then a whole bunch of LED strips going around this one and the extension cord. Okay, for this clear thing, I bought it on Amazon. Forgot how much it was. I bought it a little while ago. This PVC, I bought it at Home Depot. I forgot all these prices. It's been a while. I didn't know. It took me a long time to find the end caps I wanted to use for this. I went to Home Depot. And I found these, but I'm not gonna use these. I didn't like these. I had to modify it too much. I had to make it the inside diameter. I had to make it larger because it did not want to fit here. Got it to fit by shaving some of the inside out, but then I noticed that it's not gonna be a good idea to use this because of the ends right here. The outside part is actually rounded. And what I'm gonna use for the extension part are gonna be these little waterproof things for the wires. So if I put it here, I'm gonna have to shave this off too, the little writing that's on here, and then make it flat instead of that little curved part. And I was like, nah, I want to guarantee it's gonna be flat so it could be waterproof tight. Not gonna do no use to have this seal or any sealing. You could probably make it work, but I want to guarantee it. And I found something that had a better look to it, so I decided to buy this style right here. It's what is that? An octagon shape right there. And then I bought these at Ace Hardware store, and these actually already fit in there perfectly. I didn't have to modify nothing, so it fit right there, and then the ends are flat, so it's gonna be perfect for the wire to run through it. One little thing I didn't like about this is when you look real close, there's a little like indentation in there. So because of that, I will not be centering this on here. It's gonna be set a little offset so I could get rid of that little indentation part, because if I put it centered, that little indentation is gonna be under that little rubber ring, and I don't want anything affecting the seal. One other thing about these, when I drilled the hole in here, let me remove this. It comes like this. To get it that size, I used drill bits. I started with the smallest one and then worked myself to the biggest one, which the biggest size I needed to the end product of the whole is going to be 31 64th. And then with this, I also have one other issue. This part right here is not that long. So when I stuck it in here, which is gonna be like this, it wasn't gonna reach through all the way over here for me to put the nut in. So what I had to do, and good thing I had these, are these little grinding, like sanding things. I bought these cheap. I forgot how much, but I know they're cheap. I bought them at Harbor Freight. So what I had to do is put this in the drill too after I made the hole, and then sand it down to make this part right here thinner. And you can see in there how it turned out. So I put it in there, and it's a good probably like half of it, I grind it down. And then that makes it to where you can stick it in, and then there's enough thread in there to put in the locking nut. And then later on, after I paint them and everything, I'm lock them in with a wrench and socket. For now, I'm just gonna show you. See, there's enough thread in there to lock it in there. And what this has is a little rubber ring seal, and then this part over here, you put the wires through it, and then it has a rubber piece in here, and in the inside, this actually, when you screw in the cap part, it actually makes this part compress. So it's kind of like compressed fitting. It compresses it, and then this rubber tightens down and just clamps on the wires. But I'm still gonna add adhesive in there first, and then after I put the cap in, I'll still add more adhesive in there. And over here on this side too, just to make everything secured and waterproof. Okay, so right now I'm going to be making the part that's going to sustain the center part of the tube, which is going to have the LED lights. This right here is just a scrap I cut off of the main large PVC. So first, this is going to be the inside, so I'm going to have to do this one first. So I get the PVC, I put it on there, and I use like a sharp pick and just go around. Keep on going around, and it'll start breaking. It'll start breaking it apart. Okay, after that, so I have that one right there. Next thing is getting the actual outer tube, centering it on there, and tracing that one out too. The same thing. The only difference is the first one, you don't want to go all the way through, because you want it to, it's going to be on the inside, you want it to fit in there without actually, if you do it all the way through, the foam part is just going to slide through. You don't want that. You want it to have somewhere to actually stop. And then I do not want to scratch the table up, so you could just take it out over here. Just keep going straight and around in that same circle. And this does not have to be 100% perfect or pretty, because it's going to be on the inside. You're not going to be able to see it. Okay, so here's one of them. Just gonna go inside of here. Okay, see how you have that extra part? We're gonna cut that out. So what you wanna do is stick it in there. Compress it in there. And then mark it here. And you want to put the one you already grooved in inwards for this process. And then later on, when you cut this part, you're going to flip it over and put that part inside. Because you want the nice, smooth, and already marked area in here. But just so you could get the depth, flip it over there. And just start cutting it. Now, this is the first time I remember doing it, so use whatever you have around. Because this, I don't know where you're going to be able to get this. I got this at work. It was foam to secure a bumper that we bought from Freightliner. And I don't know, I never seen this in some other occasion. But they must sell it somewhere. But I bet you could use any kind of foam. Use the white foam. The one for like the little coolers or something. Any kind of packing material. Okay, so try to make it as flush as you can, because when you have everything in there, you do not want to be seeing it. The flusher you get it, the prettier it's gonna look. Okay, so I have it in there. So it's gonna go in there. See how nice and flush it looks? Alright, so let's see how it's gonna look. It's gonna be a little bit tighter in here, but that's the main point. You want nothing to move. So you have it in here. Then you put it in here. And you want this part to go in all the way. And then it's gonna be just like that. And then of course you're gonna have the other side over here. And it's gonna look flush like that. And then when you have the other side over here, it's gonna be centered. It's gonna look perfect. Okay, welcome back. This is day 2 of the project. As you can see that I painted these and it's already dried. The main part that's gonna be inside the tube, I also painted the edges. And just in case the LED lights didn't cover the very tips of it. So all the center I know guaranteed is going to be covered with the LEDs. I just don't know how far from the end it's going to cover. So I painted it black so it can all match and won't be noticeable with the white. Okay, and today I'm gonna start doing all the soldering. I'm gonna complete everything. And then to start off with, I'm gonna extend these leads right here. I'm gonna cut me a long piece of this wire. It's gonna make it a lot easier since these are short. And then the other part right here, after I put the heat shrink on it, it's gonna make it stiff. So once I put it in here inside the tube, it's not gonna be a lot of free slack. Okay, so here I go. All this is gonna be stuffed in there, so it doesn't really matter how long. Okay, one thing you have to always remember is before you solder anything, put the heat shrink in it. If not, you're gonna have to cut it and redo it again. A lot of people who just start soldering, they always forget to add the heat shrink first. And that's just a double work. You can put heat shrink one at a time. Just make sure to put it before you solder it. Always connect black to black, red to red. One thing that I do to make it look so good is I get a piece of wire, I strip it, and then I cut individual strands off. And then by doing this and wrapping it around, it's gonna make a great bond and you don't have to mess with it as much. And these wires are real super thin. And just wrap it around and make sure to make it tight. Alright, so let me connect my soldering iron. Now soldering irons, they vary prices from like between like 15 bucks to say 50. This one right here is about, I'm gonna say between $25 and $30. But this is a Weller. This is actually a really good one. I would not trade this one for any other. I highly recommend that one. And then it also has a fat tip, so once you solder it, the solder is gonna melt it quick, and it heats up a little higher than normal than your average one. It's hotter, so it's gonna make everything quicker. I love this one. Just make sure to always have a sponge nearby that's wet, so anytime you use it, right after, wipe all that excess off, or it's gonna start damaging your tip. And then once you finish everything, all the solder for the day, Um, dip your soldering iron and then into this. This is a some kind of cleaner that makes the points shiny again and makes it last a lot longer. Once it starts turning black and burnt and everything, it's gonna be real difficult for the solder to actually melt, even though the rest of the iron is hot. I also have a heat gun, the wok. It's good, but if you don't do this often, soldering, you won't need one. You could just get a lighter and then heat it up and just keep it a little bit further away and then move it closer slowly until you start seeing it shrivel up. Once the heat shrink shrivels up, rotating everything, keep it moving. Don't keep it all in one spot. It's gonna burn. Not as nice. And this one's pretty cool because it has a little stand too, so it could be hot and it won't touch nothing. Keep this one more on the inside. As you can see, it's already hot. My glove already accidentally touched it and it burned it quick. Okay, so here I go with the first solder. The iron's already hot. First, you want to touch the wire a little bit. Get that nice and hot first. It doesn't have to be too long with this iron because, like I told you, it's real hot. And then dab the iron a little bit, like keep it connected. Dab the iron real quick. And then once you see it melt, just smooth everything out. Like I say, clean it every time. Okay, now that that's done, the soldering is the heat shrink part. But see how this spacing from this wire to this wire is real close? You can still do it and then cover it up and everything, but it'll be easier for you to just remove it and add it later. But you want to start heating this one up. If you have both of them already connected and you start doing it, they're too close and you might heat one and then the other one at the same time, and it could be slightly moved because you're worried about this one and this one moves, and it's just much harder. So just do it one at a time. So I'm just letting that heat up for a second, and it doesn't take long either. Okay, and then I forgot to mention, when you go buy this stuff, get the solder that has resin core in it. It just makes it better burn. It makes it stick better, and then it has some kind of flux to it, which makes it burn better. And then another thing to do when you buy the heat shrink, make sure that it has adhesive in it. If not, it's not going to shrink up as good. This makes it real waterproof. Okay, so I have already measured the light. I wrapped it all the way around, and one roll is perfect for a 12-foot PVC pipe. It's gonna be a little bit short, but that's not gonna be a problem because it's gonna go within the little, what do you call it, center restraint. But one thing you want to do first is drill a hole where you want this wire to go into, because everything is gonna meet up in the center of this PVC pipe. Oh man, it's like a Chinese trap right there. What was that called? Siamese trap? Or I forgot, where you put your fingers in it and then that's way back when I was little. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Okay, so when I'm drilling out this hole, what you want to do is first start off with the smallest drill bit you have, and then from there work yourself bigger. It just makes everything look cleaner. But sometimes you do start from the big one. It's hard to start it off, and then once you do, it's gonna start tearing everything up. So once you start with something little, it goes in easily, and then once you start stepping up, everything goes in smoother, straighter, easier. Alright, this should be it right here. Trying to improve the quality of my videos. So if y'all have any tips, any suggestions, let me hear about it. And if y'all have any kind of cool GoPro or any kind of kayak or fishing, kind of do-it-yourself stuff that you might think I'm interested in, let me know and I'll check it out, and if I like it, I sure will do it because I love doing this stuff. Don't have that much time usually, and it takes me a while to do stuff, but I always get stuff done. I have also junction box, a power box. It's gonna be for the kayak, and it's gonna be used with this too, because when I'm on a kayak, I'm gonna plug it in there, and then that is also one of my projects I started on and have not yet completed, but I will have to soon, so I can enjoy this light on my kayak. Okay, so it did fit in there. Okay, so next thing, I always like to unplug my power tools, because sometimes my son won't be around and don't want to turn it on a drill with a drill bit in it. No. So I use this E6000 anytime I want to waterproof something. But it doesn't have to be just for waterproof. It could any kind of sealant like this. So it's flexible, waterproof, non-flammable, and paintable. But it does go on clear. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and wipe the sealant, the adhesive on the whole thing, so I don't have to keep on going back and forth and just worry about wrapping it up and removing the tape part of this on the back, which I'm gonna get it started right now. Second. Okay, so I'm gonna start wrapping it. Okay, so after wrapping it all the way around, I see that there's still some left. So what I'm gonna do, every 3 LEDs you can actually cut it. There's like this little copper area and it has a picture of a little scissor. You go straight down there, you can actually cut it and you'll be okay. I actually want to leave a little bit of the black part so this could fit better. Okay, one thing that I decided to change and add is electrical tape to the ends. I added the clear tape just to hold it into place, but I started thinking, since this section right here is not going to be seen, I'm going to grab the very end piece of the LED, the last strip on each side, and just tape it with electrical tape. It's going to be black, so it's going to blend in good. It's not going to be able to see, I don't think, with these. I'm going to push it into where you can't even see it. So it's just going to guarantee that this thing will not unravel. Okay, what I did here is I put the foam part in already, and then I put the tube in on this side, and then I put it on the table, and then I just started pushing it down till it went through that opening I made on it. And then right now I'm gonna put this cap in it because I don't have to do nothing else on this side. And see how evenly flush everything is gonna be over here? You're not gonna see any of that black foam or anything in there. Okay, what I've decided to do is so that everything gets held in there and never ever moves, I'm gonna put Gorilla Glue. But on this lid part, I'm gonna put the sealant. Alright, now to do with the other one, it's gonna be a little bit different because I have to make the hole for the wire. For this one, I put the foam in, and I'm just gonna poke through the hole that's in the bottom. Okay, now I'm gonna insert the other part of this foam. I'm gonna thread the hole right here. Okay, well the next thing I gotta do is solder these two together. Time to stuff everything inside this wire, inside this PVC pipe. So how this is gonna go down is gonna have this plug right here. I'm gonna have to cut this in half. Use this part right here with the use this, and then it's gonna be a connection. And then this part right here, well, when there's a connection like that, I can plug it, put it on my kayak, or take it to a pier. I just disconnect it and put it somewhere else. And the final step here is to test everything out. Here's the extension cord. Here's the piece I just soldered on. We got this tip, and then I got this connection. So whenever I'm bank fishing or anything, or in the pier, I just connect this one. And as you can see, red goes to red, black goes to black. And then you just plug it in here. There's a lithium battery. It has 3 different voltages. It has 12 volt, 9 volt, and 5 volts. With 12 volts is 11,000 milliamp hours. So that should be 11 hours of 12 volt battery. So this thing got some juice to it. So I plug it into the 12 volt port, and I'm gonna turn off the light so you can see how bright it is with 12 volts. Okay, as you can see, wow, it's real bright. Look, Jaden. Look what your papa has created. It's like fire. That's pretty cool. I'm real proud of this one. This is do-it-yourself project. And here's my extension cord. And I'm gonna have little tie-ons right here with zip ties. And then I'm gonna put double zip ties, and then I'm gonna put some kind of weight to it. I'm gonna put 2 of them, one close to the light and one further away, so the whole extension cord could sync with the actual light. I don't want it floating around, so when I cast, my line won't get tangled up with the extension cord. But then when I'm like, say, bank fishing or something, and I want to have it close to the edge and it's just a drop off, one of my spots is like that where I go flounder fishing. I just want it right there floating on the top part. I don't want it going far away or sinking. I just want it right there, and then I want all the bait and all the trouts coming to me. I don't have to have it sinking or anything, so I can have both sinking and floating with the same light. And that's it. Thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all like it enough so y'all could build one of y'all's own. And then in my future videos, y'all could see me actually using it and see if it actually attracts a lot of fish like I think it will. Alright, thank you, and see y'all next time.